Hello all of you beautiful people, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, and I hope you are sitting comfortably because X-Men Dark Phoenix has just come out, and boy howdy if it isn't a little bit rough around the edges. So I decided to use my superpowers of, what are they again? Oh yeah, not writing any of these WTF moments scripts, and enlisted the help of the mighty Simon Gallagher to break down all of the moments that just leave you scratching your head bloody and raw. And trust me, there was a lot of them. So with this in mind, and trust me, you don't need to read mine, you definitely don't want to do that. I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are all the WTF moments from X-Men Dark Phoenix. And my lovely students, if you have spotted that we've made a mistake or just found another one, then pop it down below and share it with the rest of the class. But make sure you start it with the sentence, Jules, you stupid sentinel, ... just so I can find them a bit quicker. Anyway, let's crack on. We begin with the fact that one of the most inadvertently comical lines from the trailer wasn't even in the movie. We all waited to hear the classic line of Xavier saying, "I don't know what to do!" But it wasn't in the film. A treasure lost forever. Okay, so if you're going to set a film in a certain time period, you should probably make sure that one of the songs that's played through the car radio in one of your scenes is actually from this period, not the future. Case in point, Werewolves of London came out in 1978, and this scene is set in 1975. When Jean meets Charles Xavier, he tries to give her this whole sort of with great power speech about a person's goodness relating to how they use their gifts. It's a nice moment in theory, but his two concepts are a bit weird. On the one side, you can use this pen to write a nice letter, and on the other side, you can stab people in the face with them. Okay, Charles, I think you might have some issues that you need to work out. If this is indeed 1992, then both James McAvoy's Xavier and Michael Fassbender's Magneto are at least 60 years old, and yet both of them look at the very most about 40 because there has been absolutely no allowance to making either of them look older than their actors are in real life. Good. Poor old Hank. He says that the X-Jet isn't really ready for space travel and gets told to stop moaning and just get up there into space on the jet that he built and would therefore know better than anyone that it is not suitable for space travel. Lucky then that the film just says that it is safe for space travel and he's chastised for being overcautious. Poor old Hank. I'm not going to tell you how to do your job, but shooting a spaceship with a concussive blast probably isn't the best idea, and you do have a powerful mutant on board that can literally slow down the ship with their mind. They really just needed to have Cyclops do something here to warrant his emotional arm-holding moment, didn't they? I mean, what if he'd missed and he killed a crew member? Bad PR, mate. Ice in space? Now, explosions can happen in space. That's been widely accepted by science now, but one thing that can't really happen in space is the formation of ice, because you need water and you need weather, two things that are quite not there. So how they've done this and have Storm freeze the ship is anyone's guess. At a push, you could say that she's freezing the gas coming out of it, but then again, that is a bit of a stretch, right? A duct tape helmet. Okay, there is no limit to how dead Nightcrawler would be if this actually was happening. So this spaceship is spinning out more than when I dosed on some dodgy mushrooms, so how the hell is the commander of this ship A, even conscious, and B, able to leave his seat and try and fix the ship? He would have been stuck to the wall or flung out into space, surely. However, in the scene where they find him, he's just peacefully working away and seems surprised, if not a little annoyed, to see the team pop up and try to rescue him. It's like, oh, give us a minute, pal, I'm just trying to fix the telly. Nightcrawler, mate, I know you're trying to rescue Jean, so why don't you actually do that and stop staring at her? Get her back to the ship. She doesn't have the power of duct tape that you have. Actually, that's a point. How can Jean even breathe in space? Does the Phoenix Force just make science not work? Because this version of the X-Men are all like rock stars, when they return from space having saved the astronauts, they're met by a crowd of fans cheering, brandishing action figures and holding signs as if they're at a goddamn wrestling show. I mean, fair play. But in particular, one of them stood out. It's a child holding up a sign asking one of the X-Men to marry him. He's about 12 at the most. Issues. Don't have the X-Men cancelled. No. Okay, so no matter how pleased everyone would have been to see Jean Grey emerge unscathed from the whole Phoenix Force attack thing, or how happy and great she insisted that she felt, Why are literally none of the X-Men concerned about why she survived? Yes, Xavier offers like a medical exam, but even Beast, when uncovering the actual genetic issues that put her power off the charts, simply remarks that he needs a better machine. Although probably, as mentioned before, he's likely just holding off because the team will probably just ignore him anyway. So in the comics, the Dabari are part plant, part human creatures that can disguise themselves as human, and one of which, Vuk, is the same character that Jessica Chastain is meant to be playing. We're not really sure. He's got a ray gun that turns people into stone. In the film, they're a totally nondescript race of aliens that look, I don't know, similar to the ones that you'd see in Sign and just pop up on Earth just because they want to kill all humans and take over our planet. Right, hands up if we've heard that one before. I know, right? Absolute yawn. Also, the comic version sounded so much better. Can you imagine that? Pew, 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 pew. Rock formations all over the place. Right, okay, I get that Mystique is annoyed with Charles and wants to convince Hank to leave with her, but using the line that he should know what the X stands for in X-Men and implying it stands for Xavier is just wrong. It actually stands for X gene or X factor, and it's spelled out very clearly in the comics. It's interesting to note that despite saying that she's fine plenty of time, Jean's blood has literally been like lava and is nearly bursting through her skin at multiple points. Despite being close enough to kiss her, Cyclops really isn't the most observant of people, is he? Here's an interesting thought, right? Go look at your toaster. Why does it have a setting that will turn literally anything you put into it into a piece of charcoal? Why does it have that setting? It is bizarre, right? Well, apply this to Cerebro. Why does it have a kill Charles setting on the dial when he's the one that bloody built it? Unless it was Hank who did it, and probably just did it because of peer pressure. Poor Hank. It is a bit strange that Jean is just left in the room alone after passing out. Wouldn't it have been better to put her into some sort of medical ward with some supervision? Was Cyclops just back out of the rave drinking more of Nightcrawler's piss punch? Quicksilver gets one scene and then is entirely incapacitated for the rest of the movie. Mystique's death is spoiled by the trailer and robs this entire scene of the emotional oomph. I know that the Dabari leader states that it's harder for them to understand our language when we scream, but how the hell can you scream with a collapsed chest and lung? Also, why doesn't she use this power ever again? It seems incredibly effective. Oh no. Is that meant to be Genosha? Is that meant to be the mutant paradise? Geez, no wonder the government gave them that island, as it looks more like a tip and has more than a whiff of cult about it, if you know what I'm saying. Speaking of, why would the government give him this land? He broke out of a maximum security black site prison and was also one of the 4 horsemen who teamed up with bloody Apocalypse. Why would they ever give him enough land to build his own army? So Jean heads to see Magneto and tells him that she can't control the Phoenix Force and wants his advice and help to control it. Fair. He gives an answer that she doesn't like, and then she gets angry, and then she stops it because the army comes up and she just flicks it back on and off again. She has literally proven in this scene that she can turn it on and off whenever she wants. Boom, life lesson from Jules. If you are ever in a helicopter and there is a supervillain trying to bring it down and another one trying to fling it into space, you should probably, and this is just me, get out of it rather than sit into it or pile on with the rest of your men. Because if it's a focal point in a mental battle between 2 mutants, it ain't gonna end well. Also, kudos to the pilot who's managed to be flung back up into the air and then still control the vehicle. That would actually take some serious skill, so well done. Well done, that man. Round of applause to that man. I bet you his vehicle's probably spacefaring as well. It is pretty lazy of Magneto not to tidy up the crashed helicopter from his mutant paradise, seeing as he just leaves it out in the open, and hasn't even cleared up when Hank arrives. When Magneto goes to kill Jean, he misjudges it quite badly, and she subdues him, and she tells him that she's going to show him how to really kill someone, crushing his head inside his helmet. That is cool. Then she breaks apart the helmet and then stabs him with it. That is also cool. What isn't cool is that the injuries he sustains are literally forgotten about in the next scene. That is not how you kill someone, that is how you kill a movie. I really felt uncomfortable when Jean made Charles walk up those stairs. Not only is the scene really just nasty, but it's so strange. Why is this causing him pain? And why is she struggling to make him walk properly? This power that she's got is meant to make her able to do anything, right? At several points in this movie, Jean makes people pass out. It's not clear how, but we're just supposed to accept that she has some sort of weird kill switch power that just makes people go unconscious. Fine, I can get behind that. Weirdly though, every time that she does it, she lays them down as carefully as a mother laying down their newborn baby, or like when I try and lay down your mother on the bed, but she's there flinging it back with legs akimbo. There's my one per list, but I'm moving on. It seems a bit delicate is all I'm saying. So what was the Dabari's plan with the train? Was it to punch it until something happens? Because I know they're trying to get Jean from the train, but all sense of order just seems to go out the window when they actually get on the tracks. Ooh, MCU patches on the security team. Ooh, not so subtle joke at the license holders. Quite probably, when you consider that a similar mutant containment team was called the DMC in Deadpool 2, and would have made much more sense for them to have that on their patches. At one point on the train scene, Nightcrawler is trying to save one of the MCU troops from the main Dabari aliens and teleports him away to save him, only to discover that the alien got a killer blow in anyway. We're not going to look at that scene in more detail because it couldn't have happened anyway, but sad, well apparently this is enough for Nightcrawler to go off the waller and Hulk out and turn into a spinning, whirling dervish of death machine. Now don't get me wrong, this is cool, but why wouldn't the deaths of his actual friends elicit the same reaction? But this one guy who said that his kid used to like him provokes such an intense response. This film hates helicopters. Seriously, look at how they are treated. The Dabari are absolute badasses in this film, but somebody should probably teach them that standing still after battering down a door is one of the worst and most easiest ways to get shot. And oh look, it happens quite a lot. It's very interesting to know that they reshot much of this film to avoid it being compared to Captain Marvel. But seriously, that doesn't mean that you can just start using the dust your enemies approach, because now we think of Thanos. And there we go, those were every single WTF moment in X-Men Dark Phoenix. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. As you can see, there are a lot of very strange decisions that have been made in this film. But you know what? We can always learn a lesson from the X-Men. As I said yesterday, it might have been when this video came out. I don't even know when this video is coming out. As I said before, the X-Men can teach us something about difference and acceptance. Because sometimes people will get isolated for no reason other than just trying to be themselves, and that's not cool. Because you know what, friend? Whatever you're getting up to today, whatever your walk of life, I hope that you have success and find happiness doing it. Seriously, it means a lot. And if you're struggling with any of that, please speak to someone. Because people care a lot more than you realise. Trust me. If you want to chat about this or anything else, you can follow me at RetroJ with a 0 over on Twitter. Remember, you have been awesome. Never forget that. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.